What's good, y'all? This is Let's Get It with Coach Los. I'm your host, Coach Los AC, certified life and relationship coach that helps people fix or find the relationships they want. And this podcast covers the best relationship advice, tools, and action steps to get the results you want in your personal, professional, and of course, love life. So I hope you get a lot of value from the episode. And if you do, as always, remember to like and subscribe so you can be notified when I drop new episodes. Let's get it. I'm going to tell you the three main reasons why that person that you've been dating that you thought maybe potentially could have been the one, or that person you just broke up with ghosted you, why they disappeared and they're gone in the wind and you have no idea as to why. And no, I'm not talking about if you went on one date or two with somebody and the chemistry just wasn't there and you and them both kind of know it wasn't making sense. Maybe they don't feel they owe you anything and you don't feel you owe them anything. And maybe they didn't think there's a reason to have this whole final conversation. I'm talking about someone that things were on the up and up with, or at least there was some substance built in the past already and they seem to have disappeared and you don't know why. Because I know how confusing it can be to be in the dating world and people keep ghosting you and you're trying to figure it out, or someone you really like ghosts you and you start thinking and questioning whether there's something wrong with you or not. Especially after you've had a relationship with someone where you've been together for a year or two or whatever, and when you broke up, they just disappeared like you never mattered in the first place. It's very frustrating, it can be upsetting, and it causes you to question things about yourself that you never should put into question. Now look, it's okay if people don't like us, right? We're not going to always be everyone's cup of tea. So if someone chooses not to be with you, that's fine. But if they choose ghosting as a way of letting you know this instead of telling you directly, trust me, it's way less about you and it's way more about them. And let me give you the reasons why. The very first reason someone ghosts you is from a lack of communication skills. They really lack the tools and the skills to express their feelings or explain why they're no longer interested. So they take the easier route and avoid it altogether, right? Which is hurtful for you, but it's easier on them because they don't know how to do it in a healthy manner. So what this really shows you is their discomfort with conflict and their inability to have open, honest communication, which is not someone you want to build with. They don't live in their truth. So if you were to move forward building a foundation with this person, you'd be building lies into that foundation, because when things get tough and challenges come along, they won't be able to be transparent with you and tell you the truth you need to know so you guys can work through things. So this is less about your value and more about their lack of maturity to communicate effectively. Second reason, fear of confrontation and discomfort. Many people ghost because they fear confrontation and uncomfortable emotions that come up from rejecting somebody. Because no matter how someone feels about you, no one at the end of the day wants to feel like a bad guy, like a bad person. And our self-identity matters more to us as individuals than someone ever will to us. So if it feels like you're about to do something uncomfortable and reject someone, you don't like those feelings that maybe make you feel guilty in some way. So it's easier to avoid it altogether. So what this tells you is that they struggle to manage their own emotions and dealing with difficult situations. So it's their fear and avoidance of an uncomfortable conversation that makes them ghost you, not you yourself. And it shows how self-centered they are to prioritize their own comfort over your emotional well-being. Because even though it's more hurtful for them to actually disappear on you, they don't have to see it. They don't have to experience it. So it's more comfortable for them. And they're not thinking about how much more painful it is for you that they disappeared. They're thinking about the fact that they didn't have to do something painful in front of you, like tell you to your face or through text or whatever, that they're not interested any longer. And then the third reason, lack of respect and consideration. And respect means to show courtesy for, right? So when someone ghosts you, they're showing in a way that they don't have the consideration or courtesy for other people's feelings. And they'll justify this in their minds by saying to themselves, oh, it's not that serious. And they'll think of it as being harmless because, oh, we're just dating. We're not in something committed and serious. They'll be all right. I don't really need to do all that extra step. Or they'll say, well, we broke up. We're not a thing anymore. I don't owe them anything, right? Screw them, right? Anything to justify their actions so they can feel more comfortable about their decision, because it's more uncomfortable to lean into telling you directly to your face or through text or by a phone call or whatever the case is, to where the humanity in it gets lost, but they give themselves narratives to be okay with that. Or it's the other side of it, to where maybe they just didn't care enough. So no matter which way you want to look at it, they didn't have the courtesy or consideration for your feelings because they didn't care to, or because they convinced themselves it was harmless to not tell you directly, and it was probably more harmful in their minds to say it to you. But in either situation, they're thinking about themselves, not about you. So the big takeaway for you is asking yourself, does this person deserve my energy, my frustration, the confusion and the time and the brain power I'm spending focusing on trying to figure out why they ghosted me, why they disappeared and all these things, if through their actions, they're showing that they lack empathy and common decency to another human being, just to let them know, hey, this is where I'm at with things, right? Or they lack the communication skills to actually be able to express themselves, live in their truth and communicate that effectively, right? Or that they lack the ability to sit in the fire, right? When you have a relationship, so you're building with someone, most important thing is how you work through the conflicts, because the good times are easy. But it's really about, how do I work through the battles we face so we can continue to be great and thrive and grow and elevate, right? Gotta ask yourself, is spending my time trying to focus on harping on why they disappeared on me worth it if they're showing the signs that they were not worth my time to begin with? And if you need help getting over a ghosting situation and the healing process of it, you can always reach out to me or DM me coaching and we will get to work. Let's get it.